Energy Insights on a Saturday morning. Dean Grose is our guest. He is the CEO of Comtech Industries, and thanks for joining us, Dean. We're going to jump right in and let our listeners know what is Comtech Industries, number one, and where you're located.
Thank you. Good morning. We are basically a solutions-based company that specializes in the water space, primarily the transfer, tracking, treatment of water. We've recently developed some new technologies that we think are going to be instrumental and have a great impact in that arena.
Now, when you develop new technology, is it primarily to make things easier for the industry, for the consumer, for compliance, or is it an all the above thing?
Basically all the above. It comes down to efficiency, efficacy, safety. Usually one of those three areas, or all three, is what matters to the E&Ps. That's what moves the needle.
Okay, so background for you. I mean, take it back as far as you want in terms of how you land in the industry, CEO of a company that is doing water treatment in this industry.
Primarily started in the industrial space 30 plus years ago. Steel, paper, refineries, utilities, all the big stuff. Fast forward to the shale boom, the Marcellus and the Utica shale booms. Was driving by the first well on a regular basis, weekly basis, wondering what's going on here.
Wow.
There's no oil and gas here, so got involved with that and then recognized quickly that there would be a need for water treatment, not black box technology, but more solutions-based technology.
Sure.
So from there, I found out that every E&P is unique. Everybody does it differently, and the industry has morphed remarkably over the last 10 years.
Yeah, so as it relates to technology, and you can blink and something's going to change tomorrow in terms of what we do and how well we do it, but talk a little bit about that 5 or 10 year span of how things have changed in your business, what you can do now that you couldn't do 5 years ago or a year ago.
So 10 years ago, it was all about brute force. The money flowed, the industry was booming, everybody had a job. We've gone through a couple downturns since then, and people are working smarter. So every segment of the industry is becoming automated, not just in the things that we do, but in all of the other areas. People are turning to technology, and it's making a difference. What they didn't care about 10 years ago, they care about today, because people are looking for ways to save money. So the things that we have done that have been instrumental, the water trucks that run around, no one could ever tell exactly to the gallon how much fluid's on that truck. Well, now we know. We know to the gallon. The question is, why is it important? So we have one E&P that can save $9.3 million a year, real money. It's low-hanging fruit.
Sure.
Because rather than use 700 trucks a day, they can use 600. And that extra 100 trucks, that adds up. Other things that we've developed, when you run a frac and you've got 170 trucks a day of water only, not sand, but just water, they tend to back up like a traffic jam. That's money, creates a safety hazard, the trucks get on the road. So if you could find a way to get the trucks unloaded quickly, then you could turn them.
Sure.
So on average, it takes 20 to 40 minutes to unload a truck. We can do it reliably in less than 6, every single time, and it's automated. The third thing we think that's really going to impact the industry is condensate detection. Condensate is a fancy name for gasoline. Gasoline is explosive. When the industry first started, most of the catastrophic events were related to condensate, the explosions and all that stuff that you saw on TV. They're very important not to let the condensate get in areas where it shouldn't be, either on trucks that aren't designed to carry it,
sure,
or into the frac, because then you have those catastrophic events. So we now have the ability to detect condensate reliably, effectively, with cost-effective equipment that we've been deployed, and we're seeing a lot of interest there because it's, from a safety perspective, it's a game changer.
All right, I feel like you got me asking, and you wanted to ask another 10 questions, and we're out of time, so I hope you'll do this with me again, because I do have more questions. Dean Grose, thank you for your time.
Appreciate the time. Thanks.
Right.
Have a good day.
He is the CEO of Comtech Industries, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with him a little bit more, and we thank Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association for making it possible here on Energy Insights. Energy Insights on a Saturday morning, and I did talk Mr. Grose into sticking around for another episode of Energy Insights. We had an opportunity to meet Dean Grose. He's the CEO of Comtech Industries last week, and I wanted to expound a little bit on where we were going. I'll take our listeners back to you driving by that first site. So talk a little bit again, set us up on that, and then where the industry took off and where it dropped back down, where it went back up again, and so what you've seen since that day.
Okay. Well, good morning, John. Thanks for having me back. Appreciate it. If we rewind the clock, probably 12 years ago, the industrial business that I was involved in was residual. So I was going to a lot of accounts on a weekly basis, and I was driving by, realistically, it was the first well that Range had ever drilled. And as I would look out the window, I was wondering...
Whereabouts?
So this was up in Washington, PA.
Okay.
And I'm looking over there and I'm wondering, what's going on? What are they doing? So started to make some inquiries and find out that when at the beginning of the industry, as the water was coming back, nobody knew the nature of the water. And the water is very, very stringent. It's not something that you can just put back into a lake or to a river. It would require treatment. And what the operators ended up doing at the beginning was, let's just put it on a farmer's field and we'll control the dust with it. Well, as the regulations caught up with them, they realized that, that wasn't tenable. That's not environmentally feasible to do that. So they started to go through municipalities, and they worried that, there's no treatment there. It's just passing through and getting into the river. And that's what we drink. Right. So then they realized, okay, what are the ways that you can reliably get rid of water? So they started to reuse it. In the beginning, it was a freshwater frack only. And they learned to reuse this concentrated produced water to make another well. In effect, that was their garbage disposal. The other ways that they learned to get rid of it was to share it with your neighbor. I'll give my water, Range can give it to Chevron, and Chevron can give it to EQT. So they had a water sharing program that was developed. The last thing that they chose to do was get rid of it through disposal. We can ship it to disposal wells. They can reliably, take it a mile or two under the ground and get rid of it that way. So at the inception of the water industry, that's kind of the progression, is how it unfolded.
Absolutely fascinating. Dean Grose is the CEO of Comtech Industries. You brought up that first well, Washington, PA. So as it relates to that area, are you running this whole Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio in terms of the way your business operates and who you deal with?
Yeah, it's basically the tri-state area, but we have customers up at Northeast PA. Basically, we have talked to or dealt with every one of the E&Ps. So, if you can name it, we've dealt with them or done business with them. We're basically a regional company, so not projecting out west, out to Texas or to Colorado, basically around here.
Talk about your connection to around here as we stand in Marietta, and we're at the Deep Rock location here. So, how do you get here? Are you dealing with people here specifically, or you're a partner in a group here?
Partner in Deep Rock, a principal in it, and we recently underwent a merger with Fountain Quail, so we're a much bigger facility, and we're basically looking at, let's go beyond simple disposal. Anybody can punch a hole in the ground and take water. The things that will turn us from a commoditized business to a specialized business are the modalities that we can bring to the table. Things like treating the waste as it comes out of the oil and gas space. Where are you going to send this? When you have cellar water, or, they clean up water on the site, or when they do a rig move and they have all that waste, you have to send it somewhere. You just can't put it into somebody's backyard.
Right.
So we're looking at ways to environmentally treat that and manifest it. The water can go downhole and the waste can go to the proper landfill. We're looking to go beyond there. We're looking to barge fluid so that we can effectively take fluid out of southwestern PA. We're looking at pipeline options to get trucks off the road. Could we co-opt and use existing piping networks already in the ground to get the fluid to us in a faster, more efficient manner? So those are the things that we're looking at adding on to the business that will make us unique and more special.
Fantastic. Again, appreciate your time, and we always learn something every week, and that's the whole idea. So thank you very much.
Thanks, John. Have a good day.
All right. Dean Grose is the CEO of Comtech Industries and Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association, proud to bring you this Energy Insight episode.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on WMOA Local Radio, JAWS Country, and ESPN Radio, as Johnny Wharf brings you your local and inside perspectives going on in the oil and gas industry right here in the Mid-Ohio Valley.